What's up, fans? This is Scorp1701, and tonight we are going to be taking a look at the Super 7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Sewer Samurai Leonardo. Yes! This is one of the newer Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures released by Super 7, and I did go back and forth about getting this guy. At first, I did want to pick him up because this was one of the turtles I had when I was a kid, and the Sewer Samurai Leonardo, he was so cool. And then I got down and I was like, well, I really can't afford it, but then I did want it, and I told the guys I was going to get it. Oh, but then something miraculous happened, and I was able to pick him up at a steal. But unfortunately, we'll get to that at the end of the video, and it'll be good and bad at the same time. But jumping into the figure itself, all Super 7 figures come in this nice brown mailer box. You have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you have Sewer Samurai Leonardo, ages 14 plus, Nickelodeon Super 7, and it is all blank until you get to the back. And on the back of the box, you just have some credits for the box there at the bottom and a barcode, but that is just a mailer, and inside this mailer we have the true presentation, which is this awesome green box with a cool Sewer Samurai Leonardo head on the cover, surrounded by a manhole cover of sorts. You have some nice shell type pieces, you have some katanas here on the side, you have the Sewer Samurai Leonardo head here, you have Sewer Samurai Leonardo, you have ages 14 plus, Super 7. On the top of the box you have Ultimates. On the left side of the box, nothing. On the right side of the box, nothing. On the bottom of the box you have some credits for the box and a barcode, similar to what we saw on the mailer. And on the back you have a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo with contents, figure with accessories, and Super 7. And that is really cool, but this is a slip cover, and as we scroll back out, I will lift up the slip case, and we will see the awesome figure emerge. And wow, this is awesome. That is the Sewer Samurai Leonardo, the adult version of the toy I had, because it looks exactly the same, and he has a lot of cool accessories in there. That is neat. On the left side of the box now you have some graffiti and a sewer wall and a sewer grate. On the right side of the box, same thing with a little more graffiti and some pipes. On the top of the box you now have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Nothing will change on the bottom of the box. And finally, coming around to the back of the box, you have some cool wall details and a read-up of the Sewer Samurai. So let us zoom in real close. And you could pause the video there and read this to your heart's content. But we must be moving out. We also have Super 7 and Nickelodeon at the bottom of the box. And this is just an awesome presentation, but no one wants to see the Sewer Samurai in the box. I know I don't, so let's get him out and see how cool he is. And here we have Sewer Samurai Leonardo out of the packaging. Now, out of the packaging, he stands at about 6 3/4 inches tall, and he comes with a slew of beautiful accessories, and we'll take a look at each of those in just a moment. But first off, I want to take a look at this ornate samurai himself. And coming in real close on Sewer Samurai Leonardo, I am so impressed with this guy. There is not many parts on this guy that's not covered up with armor or samurai gear, and this is just amazingly done. So starting off at the head, taking a look at the helmet, I love this thing. It's very well done. You have the black horns coming to the side. In the middle you have a gold and red centerpiece, almost resembles the Eye of Thundera. So if I didn't know better, I would think that this might be a TMNT Thundercats crossover piece, but I do know better. So anyway, continuing on with the helmet, you do have these little flaps coming off the side, and you got some nice red star detail. I like that. Coming around to the back of the helmet, it is laced with 7 rows of these pearl-like items. I guess they are supposed to be pearls. It's really cool. Got some awesome detail up here at the top of the helmet. Coming to the very top, you have a nice red gem or stone right there. That is so cool. Coming around, the helmet does come down to the top of Leo's forehead, and then coming down past that, you have your standard Leonardo head with the blue mask and the white eyes. You have teeth poking out both sides of his mouth there, nice forest green for his face. I love this thing. This is just so beautiful. All right, let's zoom out some more and come down to his neck. And then you have a little collar piece here that is black and red coming down to his armor. And the armor is comprised of several pieces. First off, we'll take a look at the under armor. It's like blue. Coming to the sides, you have like a blue part, and then after that, you have this black armor coming for the arms, and that is beautiful. Coming to the side, you have these nice shoulder pads. They're basically big squares with ornate details and three little buttons or pegs or whatever you want to call those things. And then you have some forearm armor, which is beautiful in gold and blue, strapped on by these nice thick red straps. I like that. That is very good. Hands are going to be your basic hands, 3 fingers, green, and each of the hands are going to be wrapped with a black, I don't know, rope or something. Maybe it makes it easier to punch things. That is just beautiful. Coming to the center of the shell, it is gold. You got a lot of detail in there, little designs. You got the pearls back again. There's 5 on each of these top panels. And then you have your standard black belt with the blue L. There are some sheath spots on the side for his katanas, unlike the back of his shell like they normally are. Coming back down with some more little pearls coming down just to the side of his belt. I love that. Coming to the back of the shell, it is beautifully done. A lot of detail in that shell. It is outlined in a beautiful blue to represent Leonardo, and each little panel of the shell has some cool details in it. I love that. That is so neat. You do have one little loop in the back of his belt here. I think that's for his sign. We'll get into that a little later. And there are some more cool ornate details on the belt. As you can see here, it comes down. You got your little squares molding in there. Coming to the legs have the same black textured armor pieces as the arms. And then you have the red squares again, like you had at the shoulders for the knees. And then the shin armor is going to be blue and red instead of blue and gold, and you do have some flower designs in there. And it has the red coming to strap on the pads like you did for the forearms. And that will bring us to his feet, which are nice and green. He has his 2 toes, and they are in black sandals, and that is really cool. Coming to the bottom of the feet, you have some nice copyright detail there. All right, that is really awesome. And that is what your Sewer Samurai Leonardo is going to look like. And he is just so cool. Moving on. And for articulation, starting at the head can go around 360 degrees. And it is on a hinge, so it can look up and it can look down. And you get a lot of wiggly waggly. So there's a lot of good stuff you could do with the head. Coming to the shoulders can come up from the body a little bit and then back down. They can go around 360 degrees, and that is good. You'll just have to move the square shoulder pad around a little bit. You do have a bicep rotation. If you get a hold of it, it is there, 360 degrees, coming down to a 90-degree elbow bend, which is really nice, and that is built into a forearm rotation, so you can flip that around 360 degrees, and that will bring you down to your hand. This particular hand goes around 360 degrees, and it hinges up and down, in and out, depending on where you have it, so that is cool. Coming to the center of the body. Now he is a turtle, and there's the shell, and it's one solid piece. There is no waist articulation, so it doesn't go left or right. If you're so inclined, you could move him forward and backwards using the leg. It's kind of a hinge to fake an ab joint if you're interested, but that's pretty much it. Coming down to the legs can go up a little bit, back not so much because the shell, they do go out to the side, so that's a good bit of motion. You do have 360 degrees thigh rotation coming down to a knee bend. Knee bend is not 90 degrees. It's kind of limited because of the way that the leg is made, so you're not going to get a lot there, but that is built into a boot cut. So that can go around 360 degrees, taking you down to the foot, which is hinged, so it can go up and it can go down. It can rock left and right, not 360 degrees, because it cannot get past this armor on the bottom of the leg. So there you go. You get enough movement in the foot anyway, so I think that is pretty nifty. All right. And that is going to be your articulation. Moving on. And coming to Sewer Samurai Leonardo's accessories. First off, we have some body accessories. And he has an alternate head. And take a closer look at this alternate head. It is very nice. It is basically the same head, except this one has a faceplate, which is all black. And you have some golden armored teeth there, so that gives him a very creepy looking appearance. I like that. Then Leonardo has some alternate hands. He has a pair of open hands. He has a pair of grabby hands. He has a pair of weapon holding hands. And finally, he comes up with a pair of close-fisted hands. So there is plenty of hands to go around for anything you need him to do. All right. And those are his body accessories. Moving on. And next up for accessories, we have Leonardo's weapon accessories, and he comes with a slew of weapons. First off, he comes with a pair of throwing stars, and they are nicely done in a very, very good silver paint, and that's really cool. They have some nice sharp points to them, so be careful when you're playing with those. Now, I have looked all over the figure, and I've not found a place where they could like tab into his armor or his belt or anything. Usually when they put a hole in the center of the star like that, it's for them to like store on the figure somewhere, but I haven't found that. So for the most part, all he can do is just hold these in each hand. It's still pretty cool to have, so these are really awesome. For Leonardo's next weapon, he has 3 throwing daggers, and they are nicely sculpted and molded. You have the round ring at the top, you have a green handle coming down to the blade, and it's really nicely done in silver paint. And like I said, there's 3 of these. He can hold them, and he can actually store one in the little loop in the back of his shell if he's so inclined. But I don't think that's really what that's for, but it works. So next up, Leonardo has some fist claws, and these are really neat. They are a set of 4 claws, all done in that beautiful silver and very sharp looking. Kind of could give Wolverine a run for his money, but they are mounted onto this little handhold with a nice green handle, some black coming down from the sides. The top has 3 little blue buttons and some molded detail here in the handle, so that is really cool. And he can hold both of these his hands and go to work, use them to attack, or maybe even use them to climb. I don't know. It's your toy. Do with them as you see fit. All right. And finally, Leonardo comes with his signature katanas. Now, he comes with a short katana blade. Now, this is 2 inches. It's done in a very nice silver that we've been seeing with the other weapons. The handle is the green and black motif that we've also seen with the other weapons. It's really nice. He could put this in one of his sheath loops on his belt or in the back of his belt, or he could hold it. Whatever you feel inclined to do with it. It's really nice. And then he comes with his standard katana, which has a blade of a little over 3 inches, done in that beautiful silver. Again, green and black motif here. And he has 3 of these. He could hold 2, he could put 2 in his belt loops, or he could keep one in this fancy scabbard that he also comes with. And this is really nice. You can see the katana fits right in there, and it just slides in. And this is a rubber band type theory, so you can stretch and you can wrap this around him on the front, the back, and you could put it different places. So he could technically store all of his long katana blades if he wanted to. So that is really neat. These are very awesome blades. I love how Super 7 does the katana blades. They are very deadly looking weapons. And when it comes to weapons, he also comes with the classic weapons tree. Now these are all green, and when it comes to the tree here, you only get 2 katanas. There is no third katana, and there's no short katana. You do get the fist claws, the throwing daggers, and the throwing stars, and it's pretty neat. One of those things that Super 7 always puts with their Ninja Turtles to kind of parallel it with the toys back in the day, and I think it's neat. So if you want some extra weapons or weapons that aren't as prestigiously painted, you can remove them from this tree and go to whacking or throwing or slashing or whatever you want to do with them. Alright, moving on. And Leonardo's next accessory will be this awesome shield. Now it does have a little handle here, and it's basically an ornate shield similar to the one we got in the original toy. You have some nice gold around the borders, reds, greens, and blues, and a lot of detail in there. It's very nice, and like I said before, he can hold this in his hands, and you could kind of store it on the back of the shell if you wanted to in that little loop. Pretty neat. Not completely sure this is classic samurai gear, but you know, hey, it is what it is, and I'm glad to have it. Alright, moving on. And for Leonardo's next accessory, he has this neat little sewer samurai sign. I'm not exactly sure why you would want to have this, but it's neat. It's made out of 2 parts. You have this stand here, which is yellow and green braided plastics, and it has these little hooks for this cloth good, which says Sewer Samurai, and you have the Japan sun there. That's what I'm thinking. It should be like a white, and that would be a neat thing, kind of indicative of the Japan flag. Anyway, he could basically hold this, or he could stick it on his back, or put it outside of his house. I don't know what you'd want to do with it, but it's a cool little thing, and yeah, it's a thing, and they gave it to us, so do with it as you will. Alright, moving on. And finally, Leonardo comes with this yummy piece of pizza. Well, I guess it's yummy. It's nice. It's got some cheese and pepperoni and what appears to be either a sardine or an anchovy. I'm not sure the difference, but yeah, the anchovy is done in a nice blue metallic paint, so that is really cool. And on the bottom of it, you got some nice crust. So yeah, any good turtle has to come with a pizza accessory. That's just the rules, okay? It's just written somewhere. And so he can chow down on this, or try to chow down on this, since he doesn't have an open mouth. So I don't know, he can hold it, it looks alright, and it's pizza. Alright, moving on. And full comparison, here he is with the standard Super 7 Leonardo. And you can tell there's a little bit of height difference. And of course that comes from him having these little shoes. And the armor kind of makes him look more beefier, obviously, and the helmet puts him a little taller. And so, I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. I like the way they look together. For the longest time, I did not have a regular Leonardo, and the Sewer Samurai Leonardo was my turtle Leonardo. I'm not sure what happened to my original Leonardo, but this was the main guy I had. So that's one of the main reasons I have such an affection for this fellow. All right, moving on. And for comparison, here you have Samurai Leonardo leading the rest of the Ninja Turtles. And this was basically my set as a kid. Actually, my Donatello was the storage shell Donatello, but it was all the same to me. And I think it looks great. Obviously, he doesn't fit in too well here with the regular Ninja Turtles. Put him with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 movie Turtles, maybe. I think the aesthetic's going to be different there too. But there's not really anywhere he could go. Maybe if all the turtles were in costume or something like that, he would look good. But as a regular set, they only did Leonardo, so it's going to be hard to find a place for him. And if you want him for your collection, it's probably going to be because you had him growing up and you had a special place in your heart for him. All right, moving on. And this has been the Super 7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Sewer Samurai Leonardo. And this was a very fun figure to play with. It brought back so many memories of me playing with this guy when I was a kid. And I was just so happy to be able to pick him up. Now, the figure is very well done. It's molded and sculpted excellently. The colors just pop. The accessories are crazy good. I did have just a small problem with mine. The legs, as you can see, are a bit wobbly, and that kind of makes him kind of difficult to stand. I just knocked the little thing off. That's okay. We'll just take that off and put him back down on his own. But anyway, I loved this guy. I thought he was very fun to play with. The articulation isn't that hindered by the armor. There are some places that you have to be careful with. But other than that, it's just a fun little figure to pick up. Another cool toy representation that Super 7 was able to give us from yesterday. And that's pretty much it for this guy. If you're looking for him, unfortunately, back to what I was saying at the beginning of the video, good and bad, I picked this guy up for $19.25 during the huge Big Bad Toy Store Super 7 Ultimate sale, and unfortunately he has gone back to being about $44 there. You can get him as low as $35 depending on where you want to go to pick him up. I think Mercari or eBay or other toy sites have him for a little less than their standard $55 that he initially came out for. So if you're looking for this guy, happy hunting. So that's it, guys. That is the review, and this will be the final review of the year. And I thank you all for watching and sticking with me. So have a very fun and safe night, and until next time, keep playing.